Notre Dame's commitment drought is over in the class of 2026. We're going to break down a big time commitment for the Fighting Irish in this video with Tim Hyde, folks. Please hit the thumbs up on this video. Of course, subscribe to our channel, and you can go to blueandgold.com for more news on the commitment of Ebenezer Ewetade, 6'4", 220 pounds. You look at the rankings, Tim. ESPN is asleep at the wheel, but On3 ranks him as the number 36 overall player, the number 6 edge, according, again, to their own rankings. 24/7 and Rivals a little bit lower, with the On3 industry ranking being at 189 and 22 edge. But man, Tim, freak show talent. Notre Dame beating out a list of big-time schools. We'll talk about his recruitment in a little bit. But Tim, when you pop on Ebenezer's film, what do you think? Because this is, man, what a big get for the Irish, and one that was a bit of a surprise. But again, we'll talk about the recruitment in a minute.
Yes, I mean, he's the ultimate 3-star that just shoots up the rankings just straight off just pure film. He is Mike. If you're going to say 5-star, you're going to say 5-star on the way he swarms and the effort this kid plays with. He is raw, fundamentals, some technique things, all those things. That's great. And he's going to get coached up like crazy by Coach Washington there at Notre Dame. The one thing that you cannot coach is effort. And I think the way this kid plays, he is relentless to the football. I always use the word swarm with defensive guys, and he just brings it. He flies to the football. He's aggressive as could be. He plays fearless with his body and just how he just gets after it. Strong right there. See him, the one arm just throw a guy at how skinny he is, when you look at him. Another old North Carolina guy reminds obviously of Julian Okwara. When he came out, Julian was just a raw tomato, just a skinny speed rusher off the edge. So you definitely see this guy. The traits are there to build into a legitimate NFL football player down the road because of how hard he plays and just his level of just commitment to make a play, which is just awesome. It's raw. I mean, you'll see a lot of raw stuff. I'm telling you, man, just watch him run. I can't say that. I said it 1,000 times. I'm going to say it again. He just gets after it. And he's going to be one of those young guys. He's going to go the wrong gap. He's going to slam underneath an offensive tackle, and you're not going to care because of how hard he plays. He's definitely a guy you could see get on the field early in those nickel and dime pass rush packages that Notre Dame's obviously known for here under Marcus Freeman, because he's just going to speed rush off the edge. So I could talk a ton just watching this kid, and he is a blast. Just look at him run, Mike. This is a defense on the other side on the hash in the boundary, chases a guy to the other sideline. Yeah. That's just effort, and he is a joy to watch. And he's going to bring it, because you already see the way he's playing now. He's going to be so hyped and excited. He's going to bring this to South Bend, and it's just awesome for Notre Dame fans to see this player.
This is going to be like a weird kind of comparison, but just bear with me. Like, thinking about when Drew Pine was a high school quarterback and following him like his sophomore, junior year, it's like he's a really good player, but a very limited ceiling. Like, he has kind of already reached how good Drew Pine can be, just like, because he's not going to get taller. His arm's not going to get bigger. Like, he's just kind of capped. EB here is the complete opposite. This kid is just scratching the surface of how good he can be. This is, I mean, if you're looking at him being a 5-star, he's not maybe like a 5-star technically right now. And Tim, he's not like 6'5", 230. And like, he's lean when you watch his junior tape. Like, he's listed at 220 now. What does he look like here? Like 190 soaking wet? 190. Like So he is just, it's such an upside thing. He comes to Notre Dame. I mean, we've seen him play as a senior. I'm sure he'll develop that, but like he will get to Notre Dame as just this ball of clay with this enormous, unlimited upside. You just watch the junior film, Tim, and it's just, oh my gosh, you just like salivate with what you will be getting when you coach this kid up.
It's effort. You just saw the last play again. He just brings it. The kid plays with so much heart, so much passion. It is. Man, it's a coach's dream to see a guy like that, because you could just keep just giving him more. He just brings it. So he's definitely going to be a weight room coach's dream because once again, it's the high achiever. You've heard me use this term at Notre Dame, guys. The classroom, the weight room, the practice field, the game day, the community, all these things that make a Notre Dame football player. And you just see it with the way he plays. You know he's going to do it, and he's going to do it in the weight room. This guy's going to be a weight room warrior.
Yeah.
And man, Mike, if he's not in the NFL, then it's like,
ooh,
something happened. I'm just saying, because the ability to rush the quarterback, keep that mentality, keep that mindset, and you could see this guy just keep growing over these next 3-4 years with Notre Dame. And this, I mean, going back to your point with Pine, just using him as an example, but it's sky's the limit.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't know who he is until 5 years from now. And that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I want to talk about his recruiting process, Tim. So Georgia was at, I mean, this is not like they offered him his freshman year and they're not really recruiting him anymore. No. Ebenezer Ewetade's recruitment really has blown up in the past few months. So Tim, when you look at it, Georgia, Florida State, Bama, Ohio State, it's the who's who of college football. And when you go back and look, he didn't get his first offer at the Power 5 level until February of 2024 coming from Duke.
Yeah.
And then he got Miami in May of 2024, Purdue that same month, East Carolina in August, and then Tim, Ohio State, January 7th. So his recruitment didn't even blow up until this calendar year.
Look at that.
So when Notre Dame played Indiana, this recruit was like a consensus 3-star guy. When Notre Dame played Indiana in December, 3-star guy.
Months ago.
And now he's, got this 5-star.
I mean, NC State, he lives across the street from NC State. Isn't he right down the street there, right? And they just offered him. So basically the same time Notre Dame did. So that's fascinating. But the big three, just real quick, Mike, the big three, as we obviously over the last 10 years, Georgia, Bama, Ohio State have just killed it in recruiting. So, and you can look at Notre Dame's roster, they're single digits with prospects, with the big three having offers. So this is a big, big win for Notre Dame.
So Notre Dame, though, you talk to Ewetade and then people close to him, and I was told that like Notre Dame was in on him early, like they had been recruiting him since last spring, but just some different, classroom things like to kind of, Tate, you need to take this like that kind of thing needed to get sorted through, and then Notre Dame really turned up the heat in January and then got him on campus for junior day at the end of January. That's when he got his offer from Notre Dame. As you see, January 25th, got that scholarship offer from the Fighting Irish. And then, just that combination of athletics and academics, just really a big deal. And just the feeling was like, yeah, this kid is a Notre Dame kid through and through. And Tim, I got to talk to him a few days before he announced his commitment. I believe even before he told Notre Dame that he was committing, although the Irish staff had a pretty good idea that he would be committing, very soon. And he told me that he is not going to be considering any other schools. Like his word is like, hey, Notre Dame is now family to me, and you don't turn your back on family. That's paraphrased. That was kind of a cool thing to hear from a prospect. So Ebenezer Ewetade, Tim, this is, a huge commitment. And Mr. Hyde, you potentially could be getting Rodney Dunham in a few days as well. That's the 5-star edge, another North Carolina guy. He's down in Charlotte, the number 19 overall player, number 3 edge, I believe, according to the On3 industry ranking. So Tim, quick tip of the cap to Al Washington, just based on how things are going early on. He's doing really well. And he's a guy who gets, catches some flack from the Fighting Irish faithful, but right now, got to give him the tip of your hat.
And a quick, shout out to the scouting department. You're right. I mean, there's one right after, obviously, going back to you talking about Indiana, the playoffs, all those things. Chad Bowden leaves, goes to USC, but they're still scouting. The whole recruiting office is still working, and he gets that offer on junior day. A couple of days after the shakeup starts to take place in the recruiting office, and I think that's a big win for those that stayed with Coach Freeman, Matt Jansen, the scouting department, and all the other recruiting people there. Obviously, it's Mike Martin, right? Mr. Martin there with his first big commit and his first, obviously, meeting him there on campus. So this is a big win for the new general manager, the entire new operations that are going on. We've talked about on our live shows, the recruiting has been The visits have been outstanding. This has got to be the best group of visits Freeman's had since he's been there. Just bringing them in one after another, and it's well organized, built around the practices. So I think it's been an awesome spring evaluation recruiting period for this staff.
For much more on this news, head over to blueandgold.com with written content about Ebenezer's pledge to the Fighting Irish. Appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up. And as always, we will catch you next time.